YouTube. We're going to do a little beginner welding series here, and we're going to start with basically we're just going to follow a line that we're going to make on this plate. We're just going to follow it with a 70/18 welding rod. It's basically start and drag, and what we'll do is I'll make some lines using a lens here and some soapstone. These are just basic beginner welding practice, and this is just something you're gonna have to do over and over and over until you're able to follow the line and make a nice weld. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to start it. Basically, you get a welding rod here. Basically, you'll take the 70/18. A lot of people like to peck at it, and some like to strike it like a match. What I like to do is I like to rest it, and I just put it on the edge, so where it's hanging over the edge, and I'll just drag it up until it arcs. Once it arcs, I'm just going to follow my line, and I'm going to keep the tip of the welding rod off of the metal. It's not just on the metal. It actually, you raise it up a little bit. So what you're going to be doing is, as you're dragging it this way, you're going to have to maintain that gap between the tip of the welding rod and the electrode, whatever you want to call it, and the plate. However, as you're doing that, you're burning the electrode. So what a lot of beginning welders do is they start out and they start going, and all of a sudden it starts to really flare up and it gets really huge, and then it goes out. Well, what they're not doing is you're going to have to feed it in as you're welding along and keeping your gap. So there's several things that you've got to do in order to make a good weld. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this lens underneath this camera, so that hopefully you'll be able to see what it looks like, and then I'll show you how to do it. Alright, so right now you're seeing what every other welder sees when they throw their shield down. You see nothing. I don't have an auto darkening lens, so you're just going to have to bear with it. But this is what it's going to look like when you throw your shield down to weld. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start welding. There we go. And what you want to do is you want to let that puddle round out. As you weld, you follow that line. And the reason we do the line when I teach welding, the reason I teach follow the line, is because sooner or later you're going to be trying to put two pieces of metal together. So, like I was saying, sooner or later in welding, you're going to want to follow, you're going to have to put two pieces of metal together, and this line represents those two pieces of metal. If you can't follow the line, then you won't be able to follow the pieces of the metal that you're trying to melt together, if you will. So you can do pecking, you can do scraping. There's a lot of ways to clean it off. Forgive me, my stand's giving me a little issues here. But we'll just chip it off. We'll knock the chunks off. I don't have a wire brush. My machine was really cold, as you can see. I had a little problem starting the arc. But give me one second. Let me get that wire brush. Alright, hey, ugly weld. What can I say? What we'll do is we'll go ahead and I'm going to turn my machine up and we'll run another pass, see if we can't make it look a little better. Okay, another thing you're going to notice is as you weld, your base metal will get hotter, which means your machine won't need to be so hot. So, what I'm going to do is let me trace another straight line here. We'll use a clear lens. I've got plenty of them. I don't want to mess up a good dark lens. And right now, the reason I'm doing these just separate like this is because if you're just beginning welding and you're watching this video, you're learning the basics. If you already know this, then you can move on to other ones. I'll be making more advanced videos later on. But these are going to be just basic beginner things to do to become a good welder. Following a line, just putting beads down on a plate. You know, later on in the next video, I plan on showing you how to stack beads together, which this would be a bead. You would stack it together to make multiple pass welds, and you need to learn how to run a bead in a straight line before you can start stacking them. So give me a second, I'll throw the lens back in there and we'll get back after laying another bead down. Chip this slag off here. One thing that I haven't been doing, that I should be, for the beginner welder, there you go, much better. The beginning welder, what you want to do is you're dragging along, when you get to the end, instead of just running off like I've been doing, what you actually want to do is you want to come to the edge and then come back in, and what that does is it'll build up evenly all the way across. But that's it. That's what you need to practice, and until you can lay beads that are uniform across the whole width of your plate, you don't need to go on to the next step. The next step is going to be stacking beads, and what that'll look like is this.